大学生です。I am a university student.
This is quite sudden, but did you know that you can already pronounce most of the Japanese language? Hey guys. I am Japanese Nikki. Nikki means brother, Kaigai Nikki means overseas brothers. From now on, I would like to watch a variety of Japanese language together on this channel. Now, did you know that you can already pronounce most of the Japanese language? Japanese is very simple and easy to pronounce. Today I will show you 7 reasons why Japanese is easy. First of all, Japanese has very few vowels. Conveniently, there is an official Halala video that shows Japanese vowels.
Ah! いいよいよ。
So, this is all about the vowels in Japanese. There are only 5 vowels in Japanese. They are I, E, U, E, O. English has 15. Fewer vowels means less overall pronunciation, which is the main reason why Japanese is so easy. Second, Japanese has fewer consonants. Japanese has 14 consonants. In contrast, English is about 25. Japanese has considerably fewer consonants. The number of pronunciations is a multiplication of the number of vowels and the number of consonants, so there is a much larger difference in numbers. According to one theory, English has 1,800 pronunciations, while Japanese has only 100. This is why Japanese is said to be easy to pronounce. Japanese hiragana is very simple and excellent. There are 3 types of characters in Japanese: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Of these, almost all kindergarteners in Japan can write hiragana and katakana. Hiragana is such a simple character, but it is excellent for use. Everything in Japan can be written in hiragana. For example, even such a long sentence can be written with the same meaning as long as you remember hiragana. Once you know hiragana, it is enough to write a letter to the Halalive members. Amazing, isn't it? Hiragana is also very easy to read. Hiragana is always pronounced in a certain way. For example, a is always pronounced as a. In English, a is pronounced differently in lake and labo, but in hiragana, there is no such confusion. So it is very easy to remember how to pronounce the letter a. There are only about 50 typical hiragana letters. This is about the same number as the total number of uppercase and lowercase letters in the alphabet. Just by memorizing the same number of characters as in the alphabet again, you will deepen your understanding of the Japanese language at once. In Japanese, fixed pronunciation and order are not so important. Take this video for example.
本日はなんとグラ先輩に日本語教室にお越しいただきました。じゃあグラ先輩、自己紹介をお願いします。Please introduce yourself to Japanese fan. Okay?
The cast says this. This Japanese language can be said in a number of different patterns by switching the word order. Here is a list of them. These are the ones where only the word order is changed, but all of them make sense. Japanese is such a free language that you don't have to be conscious of the order of words. It is a characteristic of the Japanese language that it can be understood even if the word order is ambiguous. So, why is Japanese not limited by word order? The answer lies in the so-called ta, ni, wo, and wa. These are called particles and are used to connect words in Japanese. By making good use of these particles, Japanese is not restricted by word order. If you are trying to speak Japanese, it will be helpful in many situations not to have to follow the exact word order. The Japanese expression is super simple. Take a look at this one.
大学生です。I am a university student.
This is the expression I single quote am a university student. Daigaku sei is a university student, and desu is the most common ending in Japanese. As you can see, there are fewer sentence components in Japanese. First of all, there is no I or the in Japanese. This is a big difference between Japanese and English. Another famous feature is that the subject can be omitted. In English, a subject such as I or he is always necessary in a sentence, but in Japanese it is often omitted even in formal sentences. In other words, only the necessary parts are easily conveyed. There are many other simple points of Japanese. The use of singular and plural numbers, gender changes, and the tense system are very limited compared to English. The advantage of the Japanese language is that it is less wasteful and easier to understand. This is limited to English speakers, but there are so many words in Japan that are used as they are in English. For example, door, glass, computer, interior, etc. So when you want to say the name of something in Japanese, you can often say it in English. This is thanks to the fact that Japan has adopted a lot of American culture. This is a great advantage for those of you who speak English. What is the most difficult part of Japanese? It is kanji. It takes more than 10 years for even a Japanese person to master kanji. Not many foreigners who live in Japan and are fluent in Japanese also understand kanji. But don't worry, because you don't need to know kanji to speak Japanese. If you just want to speak, you don't need to write in kanji. The goal of this channel is to enjoy the delivery of Hilalive JP in Japanese. They will be speaking, so there is no need to write. Rather, kanji is only necessary for very limited people who live in Japan and do difficult jobs. Hilalive can be enjoyed without having to struggle with the most difficult part. How wonderful! We have talked about the easy parts of the Japanese language, but there are a few difficult parts as well. The hardest part is probably the vocabulary. It is said that the number of words used in Japan is very large. According to one theory, it is 10 times more than in English. But we can solve that. Let's slowly learn the words commonly used in the Hilalive on this channel. If you know the meaning of the words, there is nothing difficult about the Japanese language. Well, this time we talked about the Japanese language. Pronunciation, grammar, and hiragana in particular are very easy. If you know these things and then learn the words, you will soon be able to understand Japanese. Let's learn Japanese together with Hilalive. Next time, we will finally get to know the language while watching Hilalive. Thank you for watching.